Hi, I'm Mike Rundle with Mobileye. I'm here with Jeff Zolkowski of WOW Electronics in Detroit, Michigan, and today we're going to be installing the Mobileye 560. In order to complete a Mobileye installation, there are a few things you'll need to do in advance. One, you'll need to complete our online e-learning training certification, download the Mobileye Setup Wizard software, perform a database update, which I recommend doing quite frequently. We're constantly adding new vehicles to the database, so you want to make sure you're always updated. You'll also need a couple of proprietary tools, our Tack and ICANN. The first thing you want to do when installing a Mobileye system is open the Mobileye Setup Wizard software, enter your username and password, choose your installation site, which should be your shop, then select the vehicle database and choose the vehicle that you're going to be working on. Today we're going to be working on a 2012 Buick Enclave. As you can see in the vehicle database, all of our signals that we need are available by CAN by the GM LAN system. All vehicles are different, so you want to make sure to check these notes in the vehicle description inside the vehicle database. These are the two components to the Mobileye system, the Mobileye 560 system and wiring harness, as well as our iWatch display. When mounting the Mobileye 560, there's a few things you want to take into consideration. A, you want to have the camera as center as possible in the windshield. B, you want to make sure that you're not mounting it behind any of the black matrixing or any tint. And C, you want to make sure that you're mounted in the path of the windshield wiper so that the windshield wipers can clear away any dust, debris, snow, rain, things like that while you're driving. So you want to find the centermost point of the vehicle that you feel is best for mounting the Mobileye system. Usually just behind the rear view mirror works best, and then running the cabling through the headliner and down the A-pillar. For now, we'll just let the Mobileye hang here, and we're going to run the cable down the A-pillar. The next part we'll install is our display. The display comes on a nice little clamshell, which allows you to tilt, pivot, and turn to mount pretty much anywhere you see fit for the customer. Today I believe we're going to mount this right on the dash next to the A-pillar, so that it's in the vantage point of the driver as he's driving down the road. The display mounts with a double stick VHB adhesive, so there's no drilling required. Now that all the cabling has been ran down, it's time to make all of your connections. The wiring connections that we will be doing today are 12 volts constant, ground, switched ignition, CAN high, and CAN low. When making the connections, Mobileye strongly encourages that we solder and tape all wiring. Now that all of your connections have been made, it's time to connect the display into the cable harness. And you'll want to make sure that your programming cable is in an easy access place to reach. Now that all of our connections have been made, it's time to calibrate the Mobileye system, and we'll use that using the ICANN. So we're going to plug the ICANN into the programming cable of the 560. And we'll plug the ICANN into the computer system. So now it's time to calibrate the Mobileye system. Log into the Setup Wizard and choose the vehicle you're going to be working on. Once we've chosen the vehicle that we want, we'll hit Accept Selection. Now that we've selected our vehicle, we'll choose Next in the Mobileye Setup Wizard. With the ICANN connected, turn the vehicle's ignition on and click Next. Once the Mobileye Setup Wizard has picked up all of the information on the Mobileye system, we simply hit Next. So now it's time to mount the Mobileye 560. Remove the adhesive backing. Place the very back of the camera up against the glass. Make sure you're mounting the camera as high as possible on the windshield as well, so that it can see over the hood. Utilizing the blue lines up against the tack background, you'll be able to align the camera so that you're not swayed to the right or to the left. Once you find the position that works best for the Mobileye 560, firmly press against the glass so that it sticks. Now that the Mobileye 560 system is mounted, we're going to measure the camera height. The best way to measure the camera height is using a 4-foot level, placing the base of the level right at the eye of the system, and then measuring from the ground to the base of the level. So we're going to place the tack directly in the center of the vehicle's bumper and as close as possible to the vehicle. So now that we have the height of the camera, we're going to measure from the ground up and place a mark on the tack the same height as the camera. which is 59 1/4. You want to make sure that you write down all of your measurements. So the next measurement we're going to take is the actual vehicle width, which is outside of your right tire to the outside of your left tire. You'll always want to make sure to measure at the widest point of the vehicle. Some vehicles, like a dually truck or a sprinter van, are wider in the back. I have 77 inches. The next measurement we're going to take is the length of the hood. So we'll actually measure from the camera system to the bumper. And I have 67 1/2. We also want to make sure that we're measuring from the center of the camera to the edge of the windshield on your right side, which is 28 1/2 inches, and from the center of the camera to your left side, which is also 28 1/2 inches. The camera placement is always going to be different, so you'll always want to take your measurements on every vehicle. On the back of the system itself, there's 2 larger holes that you can use a small pick tool to release the bottom half of the camera housing. Then using a small Phillips tip screwdriver, you'll remove the rear housing of the Mobileye 560 system. In the back of the Mobileye 560 system, there's a single screw which allows the lens to pivot up and down. This is how you adjust the angle of the Mobileye system. Simply back the screw out so that the angle of the lens can be manipulated. Using the software of the Mobileye Setup Wizard, you want to ensure that our marking on the tack, the black marking, is in between the bottom 2 red lines. The reason it's between the bottom 2 red lines is because of the camera height. If the camera height is between 47 and 74 inches, you want to make sure that our marking is between the bottom 2 lines. If the camera height is between 74 and 106 inches, you want to make sure that black mark is between the top 2 red lines. You'll only see that in much larger vehicles like semi-trucks and RV systems. So now that the camera angle is adjusted, we will go ahead and click Next. The next step is your local information. You want to choose the country that you live in, the measurement system that you choose, as well as your speed format. Here we're using United States, imperial inch, and miles per hour, and we make sure that the 65-mile-an-hour speed limit sign is checked. Now we hit Next. On this screen here, you'll want to make sure you enter the last 6 of the vehicle chassis number, or the VIN number, the vehicle width, which in our case was 77 inches, the side of the road we drive on here in the United States, which is the right side, and make sure we have our vehicle information as well. We're installing this on a 2012 Buick Enclave. Now we hit Next. On this screen here, you'll see we do not see the hood of the vehicle, so we'll leave the value at -120. However, if we did see the hood of the vehicle, we'd simply move the red line up just past the hood of the vehicle so it tells the camera to ignore it. Also, if you notice in the top left corner of the screen, there are some numbers and they are gradually counting up. This just means that the camera system is live. If by chance the numbers had stopped, you would want to reestablish camera communication and click Next. Now it's time to take all of our measurements and enter them into the Mobileye Setup Wizard. So first we'll enter our camera height, the distance from the left windshield edge, the distance from the right windshield edge, and the distance to the front bumper, and hit Next. This would be our signal sources page. All of our signals are on the CAN bus data system, our left turn signal, our right turn signal, brake, high beam, wipers. Some vehicles may not have the signal sources we need in the CAN bus system, and you have to choose auxiliary. The next step will be your camera calibration. There are 2 methods to do this, auto calibration and tack calibration. First, we'll talk about auto calibration. Auto calibration requires you driving the vehicle down the road between 2 lane markers until the system fully calibrates. The system will show a CL for calibration and count up from 0, 1 all the way to 99 until it fully calibrates the system. For tack calibration, we're going to utilize the tack checkerboard display. You would simply place the tack directly in the front of the vehicle at the centermost point, choose close calibration. After it completes the cycle, you simply move the tack target 1 meter or approximately 40 inches from the front of the bumper and choose Bar Tack Calibration. Once it's completed, it'll say calibration completed. For this vehicle, we've chosen auto calibration. A secondary window will pop up asking us, are you sure you want to proceed with automatic calibration? Read through thoroughly and click yes. After you have clicked yes, the setup wizard will burn the CAN data into the Mobileye 560 system. Once it's done, you'll see burn file succeeded. Click OK, and then click next. This is where you can lock out alert thresholds. For instance, if a parent was buying this system for a teenage driver, you could disable the power button. The same thing goes for our fleet management companies. You can do things like adjust the threshold for the minimum and maximum volumes. For example, if you didn't want someone to turn the volume below 4, you could make those adjustments here. If you make any adjustments to any of the alerts configurations, you need to hit Burn New Configurations before the system will let you proceed to the next step. So now we're at our signals and test configuration page. We're actually going to physically test all of our signals. So Jeff, if you can please turn the left turn signal on for me. And now our right turn signal. Go ahead and hit the brakes. And then go ahead and turn on the high beams. As you can see, we've got green check marks for all of that, so all of our signals have tested correctly. Once the signals have all tested positive, we can go ahead and hit next. So now that we've finished our signal testing, it's time for the automatic calibration. Simply read through the warning, just tells you briefly about how to auto-calibrate the system, and click yes. Now that the Mobileye system is complete, you can simply place your camera back together, put your rear view mirror back on, and put the vehicle back together, and you're on your way. The system will show a CL for calibration and count up from 0, 1 all the way to 99 until it fully calibrates the system. Now the Mobileye 560 is fully calibrated. Drive safely. If you should have any questions at all during your installation, please contact Mobileye Tech Support at 877-867-4900 extension 3.